All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Fix Sports Podcast, episode 30. You know, the realest, blackest, funniest sports podcast you have ever heard in your entire life. I'm coming straight from the South. You know, we going down audio shop talk right in your ear hole. Brought to you by yours truly, Joseph Ward, right here on the Freedom Train Network at www.freedomtrainradio.com, as you can see on the screen. And see, if you a patron, if you a cool person who really want to enhance your life with just the essence of coolness, you would become a patron of the Fix Sports Podcast, and you get to see all these lovely videos that I got going on. Because I'm telling you, we got a treat for you today. And speaking of becoming a patron, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/the fix. Patreon.com/the fix. It's just that easy for you to become a patron. And if you're on YouTube viewing this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You like this. You're gonna like this. So go ahead and hit the like button already because you're gonna like this. Make sure you comment and make sure you share it with your homies, share it with your home girl, share it with your moms, grandmas, your cousin, whoever it is that you get down with. Make sure you share it because not only are you going to be entertained, but you're being educated. You know, we straight dropping jewels. We man some moose over here. We drop jewels, right? So that's for the new people. For the old people, for the people who've been rocking with the Fix Sports Podcast for the longest, man, welcome back. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know it's all love. I appreciate y'all being a part of this family, making this podcast as successful as it is. Last time I checked, we over 60,000. We had like 60,000 viewers, especially like this last quarter. So that mean we got a lot more. So we out here growing. So this Fix Sports Podcast army is growing. So I want to appreciate everybody. Let me get a little housekeeping out the way before we get to the gentleman that's on the screen. So remember that the Fix Sports Podcast is brought to you by On the Shoulders of Giants. And On the Shoulders of Giants brings you African history at your fingertips. Stories of the sung unsung heroes of the African diaspora through the On the Shoulders of Giants book series, the On the Shoulders of Giants blog, the On the Shoulders of Giants African History Curriculum app, which is available on the website at www.ontheshoulders1.com. The On the Shoulders of Giants online course, which is available on Patreon at patreon.com/OTSOG. And just make sure you become a patron of On the Shoulders of Giants anyway. The On the Shoulders of Giants nonprofit organization, as well as virtual classes right now, because we ain't nobody in harm or no Rona like that, but virtual classes that you can get information about African culture, the different personalities through African history, African historical events, all types of things. And make sure you tune in to On the Shoulders of Giants on YouTube. You subscribe to the YouTube channel because certain Fridays they be dropping jewels. So last Friday it was basically a master class on August Wilson's 10-play cycle. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's why you need to go check it out because it turns into something real beautiful. So www.ontheshoulders1.com is the website and support them on Patreon at patreon.com/OTSOG. So we here today, episode 30, because I got my man, Coach Brandon Mickens. He in the house with me today. He on the fix because I reached out to him to chop it up because for one, I've been paying attention to what he's been doing in the community, right? So he has an organization called 850 Kings of Tallahassee Kings, which is a 7-on-7 football program where he taking young men using the game of football to actually teach them how to become men, how to become successful, productive men. And he throwing a little secret sauce in there called financial literacy. And you know, I like money. So I like to talk about the community. I like to talk about these kids, and I like to talk about this money, right? So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have him on here. Also, he and I have had conversations, chopped it up about investing, about our personal pursuits, what we're doing with our money, how we growing our money. So I'm just like, man, you know what? Let's go ahead and mix this financial talk with this sports talk and what we're doing in the community. Let's bring it to the Fix Sports Podcast, man. So with that being said, I want everybody out there to get up out your seats and put your hands together for Mr. Brandon Mickens, because it's really going down.
Yo, what's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, Joseph?
Man, what's going on with you, bro?
Chilling, brother. Happy to be here.
Man, I appreciate you coming through, man, chopping it up with me, spending some time, because you don't have to give up your time to do this, but you decided to come and rock with me, so I definitely appreciate you, man. So, how's everything going on your end?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored, and this wasn't a problem for me to come on here because you've been spending a lot of knowledge and a lot of gain to the people, and I see a lot of added value in what you do. So, for you to reach out, you know what I'm saying, and just see some interest that I'm doing and the things that I'm involved in the community, man. I feel honored to be on this platform. I feel honored to even be here conversing with you, you know what I'm saying, about what I have going on. So, man, I thank you.
Nah, man, no problem, bro. Like, one of the main things that my co-host or my co-founder, Patrick, when we built this network, we built it with the intention of building with people like yourself. We see there are a lot of platforms out there that Black people have, but they're not necessarily used to talk to the everyday Black person who's out there getting it in. Like, everybody don't want to be popular, but it's some people out here doing some beautiful things and really making impacts in the community. So we want to make sure that we talk to everybody. So this is something that we're honored that you're honored, but the pleasure is all ours.
Definitely. Indeed, brother.
So I do have a question. So 850 Kings, because we're going to get deeper into, because I do want you to break down to the people what 850 Kings is, like the origins of it and everything. But how are you guys handling being able to practice and or play in any type of interacting with the kids during this coronavirus pandemic?
Well, I will tell you that it has been challenging. It has been one of those things where we take all precautions necessary. Myself and also Coach Tremaine Hughes, who originally kind of had the vision for the 707 and really got me into coaching.
Right.
He really values the fact of taking the right steps needed to make sure that these kids are safe. So as far as practice, we had to cut our season short. We were in a position to represent Tallahassee and represent the 850 Kings in Dallas, Texas for the Pylon Championship. But, due to COVID, we had to cut it short. And, these kids are the most important thing to us. So in regards to COVID, we've had light practices. We make sure that they have their masks. They make sure that their temperatures are being checked. We make sure when we're stretching, we're doing social distancing. I mean, it's the game of football, so it's going to be some interaction. There's going to be some type of closeness, but that's very far in between. And I think the precautions that the parents and Coach Tremaine and I have taken prior to practice allow some of the other parents to have peace of mind and know that, safety comes first.
I got you. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been one to be kind of skeptical of any level of football actually playing under the NFL. I'm surprised college football is kind of pulling it off, but I was kind of nervous about high school football, nervous about middle school football, even lower level city league football, just because it's kind of harder to track people's movements in those levels. Like, if I'm in college, like, we play for FSU, unless they say, all right, y'all ain't going nowhere. That's one thing, like, actually put the players in that confined space. But if not, people going to be interacting. So I did kind of see that's kind of hard. But I see college football is doing something. They may be risking it, maybe not, but it is happening.
I mean, it's a very thin line that is being walked in regards to the coronavirus and youth football. I'm currently coaching at John Paul. So we've been taking a lot of precautions, and we've been watching what the other schools have been doing. what the Big Ben has to say about it, and what is it that FHSAA their rules. So we just been kind of make sure we do things within the guidelines. Make sure we tell the kids, hey, go to practice, go home, no hanging out. Like be disciplined in what you do because it affects not only you, it can affect the team and possibly the school because if one person has it, then you have to shut things down.
Yeah.
For at least 14 days, 14, 15 days. And that you might as well, at some schools, some places, you might have to shut the season down. So, we are watching and we're taking precautions, but within that, the coaches and myself and the players have been taking all the steps that we could possibly take to, stay safe.
Nah, that's what's up. Because I mean, like I love football, so I want to see it, but
right.
I want to see human beings alive and well more than I want to see football. So
I think life is more important than 60 minutes or 2 hours of entertainment. So
exactly. So man, let's get into you. Okay. I know you. We've had conversations. Our audience need to get to know a little bit more about you. So give the people some background information about yourself and how were you introduced to sports or particularly football?
Okay. Well, I'm a native of Tallahassee, born and raised. Grew up in the Lake Jackson area.
Okay.
Went to a lot of the public schools Astoria Park, Griffin, Gobbin, and I went to FAMU High. But in regards to sports, I was introduced to it at a young age. I would say at least about 3 or 4. My dad played a little basketball and baseball in high school, so that was my first introduction to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had a cousin that played football that was from Tallahassee, and he was a legendary athlete at Leon at FAMU, and he had an opportunity to go on to play in the NFL. His name was Terry Mickens.
Okay.
So seeing him firsthand and having him as a first cousin, that was like a role model to me. At the time, a lot of people were looking up to Coach Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, Emmitt Smith, Sterling Sharp, so on and so forth, Desmond Howard. I'm just thinking about all the players at the time, Quasman Ishmael,
Mm-hmm.
But it was a blessing to have somebody that was so close to me and my family that was, looked at such high esteem at football where I could just look at and emulate some of the things that he did. So that's kind of what got my love into football. And I believe my first time was around 5 or 6 years old. And from there, I fell in love with it. I played wide receiver, played a little bit of DB. And that was kind of my thing, in high school. So I wanted to be like my cousin.
Now, Terry Mickens was a baller now. For some of you young folk who don't know, or some of you people who may not be into Florida football, and I don't know how you don't be into Florida football. This is like the greatest football in the world. But Terry Mickens was a straight baller. Like, look him up, straight baller. So did you play high school football?
Yeah, I played high school football at FAMU High, where I started off at Gobby, 9th and 10th grade. My last 2 years, I played at FAMU High. Played wide receiver, and I had an opportunity to play with some greats. Paco Juniors, Tremaine Hughes, Taylor Jacobs, of course. Roy Mathis, Kenny Grice, Kenny Borders, Sean Pompey.
So what year you came out?
I graduated in 99.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you graduated a good year. Like it was some ballers, man. Look, because all the folk that you just named, what year did Confonso Thorpe come out?
I think it was 2001.
Okay, so because I know you came out the same year, Taylor Jacobs and Antonio Carter. And then you had Devin Respris.
Right.
Hey man, it was some ballers in that 99 class now.
You know, you had over at Gabi, of course, you had Chavez, Jaborland, you know, you had Jason Roberts, you know, at Lincoln, they had that stick over there, you know, it's just the city has always bred like straight ballers, straight dogs, straight, you know.
Right.
I think some of the best talent that's been unrecognized has come out of Tallahassee, you know, and I think there's a lot of unseen talent that still has not been recognized. But I would like to be a part of helping to change that. But nevertheless.
Now I agree, man. When I sit back and look at the different talent pools, because I graduated in 02, and I'm just thinking about the talent that we had in 02. Even I ain't gonna lie, that 99 class was fire though. But Tallahassee, North Florida, period, has always had talent. Even though South Florida, the state of Miami, always got most of the attention. Like Florida as a whole has talent, and I know when I was coming out of high school, we would play flag. We would play on the flag football teams up at FAMU, and we would play against. It'd be straight Tallahassee against straight Miami, and we'd be dusting them cats. Like I'm talking about, we hanging 40 on these cats from Miami who come up here really think that they better than us. Like we talking about 40 to nothing. So that showed me that we have a lot more talent in Tallahassee than people like to say or to admit. So.
Right. And I think also the mindset here when it comes to football is more blue collar type. Like we understand that here is very far between that somebody gonna give you anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got the grind, you got the work, you hanging with your older cousins that's roughing you up. So it's a different type of mindset when we line up with somebody. And though we may not have as many athletes per capita than like Miami or Jacksonville or Orlando or Tampa, in this pool right here within the metro area of Tallahassee, surrounding areas, bruh, it's some straight dogs. It is some straight goons that you wouldn't want to see, in certain situations on that football field.
Look, man, especially like you say, if you add any surrounding counties, you add Madison County, of course. You add Wakulla County, of course. You add Jefferson County when they on their stuff, man.
East Gaston with Boucher and Devin, like it's some dogs coming out of Havana and Quincy and Dogtown and them backwoods over there.
Man, look, matter of fact, talking about 99, Willie Simmons. Man, like, look, dog, that was
a strong class.
That was Willie Simmons is the best high school quarterback I've ever seen with my own two eyes, and then being able to see what he did in college football, and now to see what he's doing as a coach. That man, Willie Simmons, just straight baller, man.
Yeah. What he's doing is about to be legendary. You know, and the thing about it is he's tangible. People know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see him in the city. He's approachable, but he's a real, living legend within, in Tallahassee. So you got to respect what he got going on.
Right. Now, that's what's up. So, I know my football career as far as organized football, I played throughout high school, going to FAMU because the plan was to go somewhere and play football.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what the hell we was doing. We didn't understand the recruiting process. We didn't know for us that we had to recruit ourselves, and we didn't understand clearinghouse. So it was just a lot. It was a lot, and I was young, and I was just like, "Forget this, man. College football ain't gonna happen." So for me, that was the end of mine. So how far did you take your playing career as far as football?
Same as you. I will say that I didn't do more than just high school ball, and simply because I didn't know. If you didn't have somebody that brought you through the systems, forced you to take these tests, fill out the clearinghouse, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, stay on you. If you didn't really have that, then yeah, you was out here navigating this whole recruiting process by yourself.
Right.
And I must admit, you know, I was one of those athletes, and you know, with a mother being a teacher during the day and working as a care worker at night, and you know, having a father that was in and out the system, you know, I had to navigate things on myself. So what I didn't do is take the steps that was needed to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take those steps. I didn't fill out the clearinghouse like I was supposed to. I didn't take those tests that I needed to. And so the opportunities that I had presented to me to go play, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't. It didn't matter because I didn't have what they were looking for. So
Right.
just like most of the talented that come out of Tallahassee, you know, I graduated high school and I went to TCC. And though I had ambitions on walking on, I had to learn life fast. And, you know, I had to navigate through, you know, community college. And by the time I got to FAMU from community college, football wasn't on my mind. I had to make a decision. Like, either you're going to graduate or you're just not going to go to school. And by the time I got to TCC, after having academic probation and going through the ups and downs of a student learning, you know, college life, I made a decision that, hey, I'm just going to work and I'm just going to go to school. And I kind of just lost my whole love and everything for football. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it's a process, man, because it's not as cut and dry as people make it seem. You really got to have your paperwork together when you're dealing with the NCAA, and like me and previous guests, we've talked about clearinghouse before. So if this your first time listening to this podcast, and you yourself want to play collegiate sports, or you have a high schooler who want to play collegiate sports on any level, something called the clearinghouse. Look it up, study it. We're talking about if this is the beginning of their senior year, start taking care of their clearinghouse right now. Not right now, but right now.
Right.
Straight up. Because if not, they're not gonna play on time. So, but yeah, I mean, but go ahead.
No, it's a whole business, and the game has totally changed. Like, it's a lot easier for these kids right now to just get recognized. Like, you can go to Huddle and you can put your own game film together. When we played, you'd be lucky if a coach will put a game film together to send to some other colleges. And if you didn't know how to do it, like, we come from the VHS area, in the you know what I'm saying?
We ain't had the internet like that.
Right, the DVD area. So we, let alone if you didn't know nobody that was into that to cut and paste and edit your film and send it off, and dog, you was in the ocean by yourself. You know, somebody had to really see something in you or really grab you under their wing. So,
right,
you know,
so, yeah, like me and my homies. It was a handful of us. We had a TV production class. It was like 4 or 5 of us had a TV production class, and because we were in that TV production class, and those were the students who were filming the game, we had access to our particular film and was able to cut up our own film and make our own highlight tapes. But the problem is, after that, we didn't really understand the internet. We didn't know how to navigate. We didn't have those books to call these schools. So we had the tape. We just didn't know who the hell to send it to. So yeah, like y'all take advantage. I tell people all the time, hey, you got YouTube, whatever, social media. Utilize that. Put your highlights up there after every game. Put your highlights up there. Do what you need to do to market yourself from middle school, from 9th grade or wherever. Like, don't short yourself. So with all that being said, all right, what motivated you to become a youth football coach?
Okay, so that's an interesting story. So at the time that I got into coaching, I was kind of in a dark place, going through some transgressions as a black man, like most black men go through. On that great American money chase.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't see nothing else but the dollar signs and what was next. I threw parties and events, so that's kind of what my mind was. But I wasn't fully happy. Like I was having fun, I still enjoyed doing it. But some of the principles of the business had changed, and it kind of left me, with some bitter taste in my mouth, among some other things that I had going on outside of that. So my good friend, my brother, Coach Tremaine Hughes, he had been coaching for a couple of years, and he's like, B. Mick, man, you should come out here and coach with me, bro. Like, it'll be good for you. And I'm like, man, coaching, bro, listen, if it ain't paying, I ain't got time for it. Like, I don't have the time for it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do my community stuff when I need to, but I just don't have that type of time. Like, it didn't make sense. But he's like, man, bro, trust me. And plus, not to mention, I need you. You got a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge you can give them kids. So I said, okay. I started off in Bradfordville.
Okay.
Playing, coaching the Bradfordville Bucks. And, first day it was tough. I'm going way across town to do something, giving my time away for free. And I'm like, it don't make sense. But when I got out there, I started coaching the kids, just basic stuff. But then I started, telling them, within the game how to do certain things. I started teaching them life principles. And within those life principles, like work hard, don't give up, fight through the pain, you know what I'm saying? Look out for your brothers, look out for your teammates. Not only just, play for something bigger than you. It was subconsciously, I was talking to myself. I was giving myself therapy. I was healing myself. I've always been a people's person. I've always been good with kids. So what took place is the kids starts looking forward to me coming. Once you make some type of impact in a kid's life, even if it's the smallest thing with just paying attention to, whatever they got going on, they start building a rapport with you. So, I kind of got committed to the process. Once I start something, I've always been a person that I don't like to quit.
Right.
And tough times, good times, we're going to see this thing through. And so that's how that process started. And I went from Bradfordville, I went to Chairs, coached there for a couple of years, was blessed to coach some of our athletes to a national Pop Warner championship.
Okay.
So we represented the 850 well, and then I went from Cobb, coached there. We won city championship. Then we got into 707. So I've been doing it for almost about 6 years. I got one more years, and then I would have put in my 10,000 hours to it. So I enjoy it, but that's how I got into it.
That's what's up. And so for those who are not familiar with this Tallahassee area, when he say you got to go to Bradfordville, like what side of town you stay on?
Okay, so I stay in the Lake Jackson area. That's the west side of town.
Okay.
But I had to commute every day to Munford Middle School.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's in Cologne. That's on the east side of town, like deep on the east side of town.
That's at least that's at least 45 minutes with no traffic. With no traffic, that's about 45.
Right. So imagine going to practice, having to be there by 5:30.
So that's about an hour and a half with traffic. And then you said Chairs. So yeah. Chairs is like a subdivision outside the city. It's still in the county, but it's outside the city. It's like Chairs is considered a whole nother little town itself. Right. So you really traveling and giving up your time for real. So at that point, you dedicated to this, because for you to go to Chairs, for you to go to Bradfordville, and then to be willing to go to Cobb Middle School, the different places. So at what point did you kind of realize, I like doing this? When did it go from, damn, man, I got to go all the way out here to like, all right, man, I'm excited to go out here because I like doing this?
When I think it was when I was at Bradfordville, and it was one particular practice. You know, I was coaching the wide receivers, and at the time, these kids were like 8, 9 years old, so they still getting in the process of learning the game, controlling their body, learning, you know, paying attention to details. But I had this one kid that he was low on the athletic curve.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a tough guy, and he was willing to learn. And just me teaching him and just giving him positive affirmations, you know, just letting him know that he can do it, I started seeing his learning curve kind of increase. And I started seeing him be more technical and detailed, and just like his route running, just how he did the stuff. And this was at a young age. And he started looking forward to me coming to practice with him. And then, you know, eventually, you know, his parents saw the difference, and they kind of reached out to me to kind of, you know, start training him up. And it was, for me, it was an eye opener, because, you know, I just was doing this for the love of it, like for the love of the game and the love of these kids just learning, you know, how to play the sport. Mm-hmm. But when I saw this child like actually improve and go from third string to starting, and seeing the confidence in them, I knew that I was on to something. I knew that I found a place, you know, where it's not really, how can I put this? It's something bigger than me,
right?
It's something where I don't need no cool points or, you know, pats on the back for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really look forward to going out here and coaching and teaching these kids, you know, the game of football, and, you know, playing wide receiver.
That's what's up, man. So, all right, so from all of that experience, your love is there. When did 850 Kings come calling? Like what year? Because that's your background. So when did 850 Kings come? Because this is a whole nother level that you with 850 Kings now.
Yeah. So 850 Kings got started. Well, we became official last year, but Coach Tremaine and myself, you know, we had a lot of players that kind of followed us from Chairs.
Okay.
And then to Cobb. And, you know, they believed in what we taught and what we were teaching. And at the time, it wasn't that many 7-on-7 teams in Tallahassee that kind of catered to like 8 to 12 years old, 8 to 13. A lot of teams like, and shout out to Game Time Prep and Capital City Thundercats and Game Breakers. A lot of those 7-on-7 teams, they kind of cater to like a 14 and up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't really have anything for the younger kids, you know, to where they can hone in on what they want to do. And at the time, Coach Tremaine had a vision on creating a feeder system.
Right.
You know,
to the other teams.
Right. So, you know, you have your babies and they come through this feeder system, and it's like you teach them the same principles that you would on the next level. So that way, eventually you create a legacy like Titletown, like in Valdosta. You know what I'm saying? In some of these schools in Miami, like some of these coaches been dealing with these kids since babies and teaching these same offenses and defenses since babies. So by the time they become 11th graders, 10th graders, you know what I'm saying, 12th graders, they play with each other. They know the same scheme. They know the same concept. They can gel together. So that was a vision of his. And I, you know, that's my right-hand man. So, you know, we got into it. And, you know, once I got into it, you know, I got to running with it as far as just getting the word out, because I was just so excited. And him not really wanting to be one that's like out in the public, want any attention or anything like that. he took care of, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and we merged it together, and we created something that I think could be more than just a 707 team, but like a brand that's a lifestyle brand within the city.
Man, we were born like 2025, maybe 20, maybe 28 years too early, man. Because think about it, when we was coming up, I know when I got to high school, we had the passing league. And you remember the passing league, but the passing league was summer only, and it was only 6 weeks.
Right.
So for us, year round was just getting with your homeboys and y'all playing pickup games. It was no structure. But we knew we had a specific squad, and we brought our specific squad to every part. Like we played everybody. If they had a squad and they were saying that they could beat everybody, we were showing up because we wanted all the smoke. But it was no structure to it, even though we were able to turn it into a flag football team. But life happened. But the flag football team happened after pretty much we knew we weren't playing organized football anymore. So, I mean, but
that's funny you say that about the passing league.
Yeah.
Because when we graduated, like I believe they started it kind of like 98. But when we graduated, we kind of had it. But like you said, and I believe that might have been the birth to like 707.
It was for here. I know around here.
For here. Yeah. For here, I believe that was the birth of 707. But like you said, it was not organized. It was like, okay, bro, we're going to meet at Leon. Y'all meet up here. You know what I'm saying? Your coach may show up. He may not. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we going to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great time for these kids, bro. Like everything.
It is, man. But one of the greatest things that you said when you break it down, 850 Kings, is Coach Tremaine saw a need. He saw an opening and he filled it. So basically, middle school kids didn't have a 7-on-7 squad to be a part of. And you only had a 7-on-7 if you were 14 and above. So basically that's 9th grade, or that could be 8th grade, but you need to be 14. So that's mostly high school. So you got 7-on-7 for high school to help feed into the high school programs, because a lot of these kids are playing for their high school coaches.
Right.
But if we have a middle school team, that can help not only feed the high school football teams, but the high school 7-on-7 teams. And that relationship is built there. So 850 Kings in Tallahassee was the first middle school age 7-on-7 team.
I want to say it might have been like officially, like it's been other teams. Like you got your North Florida Rattlers, and he Coach Teddy, he deals with a lot of kids that's in middle school and elementary school, but I'm not fully sure on that because I don't want to take or discredit anybody. You know what I'm saying, that might have had a team, but I know for sure at the time, if it was any middle school teams, it was very far in between. People were putting teams together. I believe FAMU High had like a middle school team, but yeah, I could say we were one of the first. Okay. I'm not gonna say we were the first. We were one of the first.
So have you seen a lot more pop up after you guys, because you guys have had success in a short amount of time as well? So have you seen a lot more teams pop up since you guys started?
Yeah, I have. I believe we need more. I believe it'd be better for competition. But yeah, I've seen a couple of teams put stuff together. But the thing about it is, once we got started with ours, we reached out to some other coaches like Coach Tyler Walker, Coach Brandon Barber, Coach Al Johnson, and we came together with them and just said, hey, man, we got a lot of babies out here that want to play. And they had some kids. Coach Barber's just been involved with the community for some years. And we decided to, collab together and maybe, we created leagues. So we had our 14U team. we had our 12U team, and then we had like our 10U team. So we had different, layers with that. So
that's what's up. Yeah, man. Shout out to Tyler Walker too. He was my DB coach my senior year in high school at Rickers. So
man, good dude.
Yeah. So all right, so man, let's talk about this money too, because
we love it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you mix coaching football and teaching financial literacy? How that go together?
Everyday conversation with them kids, just being in the know with what's going on with them, and listening to what they had to say, and then coming back and just being, just giving them another perspective on how they should see certain things that they are involved in, what they purchase in, So it's like, I would talk to one player and he'll be like, yeah, coach, so such and such, these new J's coming out, coach, I want to get these right here. I said, that's dope right here. And I said, look, imagine before you got them J's, personally, asking your mom to buy you a Nike stock. And then it's just a seed from there. And then before practice start, I might be looking at my stocks, and then, the kids around me before they get started, they putting their clicks on this and they say, Coach Mick, what's that? Oh, that's my portfolio. Your portfolio, what is that for? Stocks. What are stocks? Okay, let me explain to you what stocks are. Now, let me show you what my portfolio look like. Now, for a kid, though my portfolio is growing, and though I know some people that have tremendous portfolios with a lot of capital, I only got a nice amount. Like I got my portfolio is nice, you know what I'm saying, without putting a number on it. But to those kids, it's like mind blowing. So once they see that, they intrigued. And then when I get to that, then we start talking about, the business of football. Seeing yourself as more than just a player, especially if you say you want to go play college ball and you want to play NFL. Okay, well, you need to understand the business of it. You need to understand the business of the game, like how you treat it as a business. And then from there, some of the players will get a lot of tutelage from myself and Coach Tremaine, and just different situations that's taking place in the NFL. Like last year, a good teaching point for my kids was the Antonio Brown situation and how that was dealt with, and Julio Jones. How your attitude and how you carry yourself and how people can perceive you can mess up the bag.
Antonio supposed to be getting paid.
Versus you got Julio Jones that might have had quarrels behind the scene, but you ain't hear about it. And guess what? He got paid $68 million, and out of that $68 million, he got 64 guaranteed. So those are, those type of situations, amongst other things, we kind of intertwine with football and life and so on and so forth.
That's what's up. And so, how long have you been investing in like really utilizing financial literacy?
Well, as far as investing in stocks, this is probably about my third year investing in stocks. As far as financial literacy and entrepreneurism, I've been an entrepreneur for about 15 years. I had a business that I created, an event planning business with some of my peers, Vermont Smith, Remy Sawyer, and Alton Colston, and a group of and Travis Knox, and a group of some other good people. So that's kind of how I got into financial literacy and just learning the business and investing from there. But as far as stocks, the past 3 years.
Yeah, man. But like you say though, parents, if your kids come talking about they want some Nikes, buy them that Nike stock instead. I'm gonna just say like this: I got a 36% return on my Nike stock right now. Nike they made me like $80 since I didn't start investing in it. So I'm just
talk to me somebody. Like it's a different type of game, and once we learn this game and we teach these kids this early, by the time they graduate, the scholarships would just be a luxury. Because they've already, you know what I'm saying? They've already invested their money in high school. Their parents know, hey, they don't need to touch that. Let's let this money work. So by the time you graduate, you got $5,000-$10,000 of your own money that you can just, you know what I'm saying, jump into the game with, or you can start your business, whether you move on to another level with football or not.
Because like I was talking to some of my homeboys, and one of them had a real good idea. So say like as the parent, you've been building this college fund pot for your child since they was born, since conception or whatever. You're building this college fund pot. You're not necessarily telling the child that you're building this pot, but you're building this pot. Right. But you're encouraging them to get that free scholarship money.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way of doing that, you providing the resources for them to get that scholarship, but you also encouraging them and teaching them all the financial literacy skills, teaching them how to invest, teach them how to trade, all that stuff there. And so they get the scholarship, and let's say, all right, such and such get to play for Florida, get the scholarship for Florida State to play for free for 4 years, academic, athletic covered. We got $100,000 that we saved up for you to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
You got $100,000 to invest in the market now, because you got your college, your scholarship paying for your college,
right?
But you got this $100,000 to invest in the market as well. So go ahead and do your thing, and flip that, because you got the skills. So you got this nest egg to help you build your stuff up, like stuff like that. That's why I want to have this conversation with you, so we can get parents and our viewers to get that stuff in their mind when we talk about kids, because it ain't like being an athlete doesn't mean that you got to necessarily save the family, and it doesn't mean that you got to wait till the child in the NFL for that child to become financially literate. When you throw somebody from the hood with $40 million, they gonna mess that up.
Right. So it's important to just go ahead and start dropping those seeds of knowledge now. So in case you get to that place and you get to the money, you won't be in a situation where 3 years down the line, because the average NFL player, they are in the league, 3 to 4 years at best.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have nothing to show for it. At least you know by the time you get to college, you know what to do to survive. You know the principles to survive. You know, you won't have to do nothing out of pocket for money, because you know how to maintain, you know how to hold money, you know how to get money, you know how to save money, you know how to flip money, and it's all legal, you know, because your parents taught you that. But also, if you're privileged to make it to the next level, what do you do when they give you that bag of money? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Look at it.
So like, it's just different.
Like, do you watch the Come Up series on YouTube?
You know what? I'm trying to think. No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I might have to check it out.
It come on, so you know, Market Mondays, you know, come on Mondays at around 8. And then, you know, Trap usually come on Tuesdays around 8:39. So the Come Up series usually come on after Wall Street Trap.
And
on Tuesdays.
Okay.
So, and dude named Mark Monroe and a young lady named Jolene, they give great information. Like last Tuesday show was so fire, but they got a concept of living 70-30 or 30-70. So you live off of 30% of your income, and you save and invest 70% of your income.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me tell you, as an entrepreneur, one thing that I've had to learn was to live within my means.
Straight up.
It's a different type of discipline, you know, but it's not a short-term thinking process. It's a long-term thinking process. Is more marathon running than sprint running. It's like, okay, I see the long goal. But within that process, it's like all the stuff that you kind of putting to the side, like your pleasurable vacations, the cars you want, the luxury clothes, all the intangible things, all the superficial things that all the trinkets that we all, are guilty of wanting, but it's sacrificing those for the bigger things, the property, the land, what I'm saying, having the capital to invest, having the capital to create group banks. It's like a different type of mindset, and you have to, and that principle that they say, I fully believe in, and I've lived that. At least I know for the past 5 years. I walked away from the corporate world officially 4 years ago, and I haven't looked back. I just used those principles, and I kept the money rotating in stock and in parties and events, and I live off the residual, of my hard work.
There you go. Because now it's funny, like in our community, we always praising pimps, right? But think about and it just makes sense to me with making your money work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Pimp your money. You know what I'm saying? Like because when that dividend notification hit my phone,
it was different, wasn't it?
Man, it felt good. So I've been, I told you, I've been practicing my trading. So I'm on the TD Ameritrade simulator app, and I get a little pay for money. They give you like $100,000 or $200,000 account or whatever. So the past 2 weeks, out of the past 10 trades I've done, I've won 8. I lost 1. Only lost $6 in the last 2 weeks. I broke even on 1, and I made over maybe $900 trading. And so I'm still getting my skills up. So when I get to the real trading, of course the money gonna be a bit different because I ain't gonna have $200,000, but the skills translating to where I'm pimping my money. And that's just how I think about it. My money working for me. So the mindset switching from, and we should teach these athletes, all right. You can only be a professional, especially football. You can only be a professional football player. And it's rare people play 15 years. It's rare. But let's say you get a good 10, 12-year career in.
Right.
But even before you got to the league, you've mastered money. You learn how to put money away. And then, when you graduate, you understand branding, you understand you're a business, you put yourself in those positions, you invest in businesses that can make you more money. And when you retire, your money's still working for you. You still pimping.
No, it's a different type of pimp game. Like that, this stock game, I promise you, I'm gonna make those old dead slave owners. I'm putting them to work, boy. I am putting them to work. Like I'm putting Jefferson and Washington and Grant to work in the stock, and they gonna work even when I sleep. And that's the mindset that I have in regards to that,
Right. So let me, for you, speaking to parents, speaking to future athletes, speaking to current athletes, why is financial literacy important in your opinion?
I feel like it's important because it's a game changer. I believe it's important because it brings freedom and independence. Knowledge is power. So if you know better, you should do better.
Right.
And we at a time now, informational time now, where you can get the knowledge that you need and apply it. They actually show you what you need to know, and they show you how to apply it now. So it's like we will be fools to not gain this information, and we will be even dumber to not get the information and not give it to our kids. Because at the end of the day, we talking about we having real conversation. We talking about generational wealth, creating it. We talking about breaking generational curses, talking about changing generational mindsets, and we talking about creating legacies. And so I think all of these things important for parents to gain this knowledge and give it to their kids early. So at any cost, their kids don't have to depend on anybody, don't have to really depend on this system, and know how to fish for themselves.
Right. Right. I mean, it's like you say, I'm glad you're saying that. It's a whole nother game out there. It's a whole nother world of finance about money. Like I just watched the movie The Big Short last night. You ever seen that?
One of my favorite movies of all time, bro.
So I my homie just put me on it like a couple weeks ago, so he sent me the link to watch it. Man, these cats are playing in a whole different type of living, a whole different type of existing, because I'm just thinking, for me, one of the reasons why I went to college outside to play football was because it was better than selling drugs.
Right.
I mean, it's freeing. I don't want to have to worry about getting caught and going to jail, even though I know I'm not a drug dealer, but I know I can sell drugs to make money.
Right.
But I'm gonna go to college because college it's a better idea. It's definitely a better idea, but I don't really want to be here. So if I would have been able to be in this finance world, this financial literacy world at that time, oh man, the game would have been so different right now, man.
And just imagine you being in college and you getting your financial aid money and your student loan money,
right?
And your parents told you way before you got there what to do and how to play the game. Imagine how wealthy you would be right now if you just like, when I get this $5,000 check, I'm going to put 70% of it in some type of investment.
Right.
Whether starting a business, whether it's stock, whether
it's at that time.
Just imagine like where we would be if somebody told us, like, because people told us, yeah, real estate, yeah, stock, but nobody told us how to go through it, how the steps, how to read and research a company, how to purchase a stock, you know what I'm saying, how to buy up all the property on the north side of town, how to buy up this property on the south side of town. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, it's just a different type of conversation. And if we had it, we would have been a lot further along in this generation as a whole, especially in Tallahassee, like our window, our demographics. And there's a lot of us getting it, and we going to get it. And I think we are the game changers, especially in the city. But just imagine the knowledge that we're going to give our kids. Imagine if we had that knowledge at that time as a collective.
I mean, it's like I said, it's a whole different living, because as I'm watching The Big Short, I'm like, hold on, y'all. So y'all just into the world of stocks just casually, like y'all just knew about this, because it's like they knew about that like we knew about football,
right?
Like their parents put them on that like early, or whoever put them on that early, like we will put on sports and stuff.
And they knew it to the point where old boy was betting that the housing market would crash. Like they know the game so much that they betting against the system and they won. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we haven't even chipped the tip of the iceberg in that game. But one thing I am happy to see is the energy of our people as a collective getting into it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that kids are being more intrigued now than anything, and they gonna get it. These indigo babies, they gonna get it and they gonna run with it.
Yeah. And we got to make sure we doing our part to make sure they get it. We have to, but like it's a young lady on Instagram, I believe her name Trinity Simone. Okay. She like a 17-year-old, and she's all into her entrepreneur stuff, doing her thing. And it's funny because she got something up now, and it's like, I guess she responded to people asking if she's going to college. And she like, for what?
Oh, we about to tap into this conversation. Good. Go ahead, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, let's just be real. Football, as I always say, football is a means to an end. So if my goal is to get to the NFL, I need to go to college. If my goal is to play college football, I need to go to college. But if I don't want to go to college, there are alternatives out there, and it's called entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
People can do, man. So why not? Why not put that on the table rather than forcing the child to go to college to get a business degree for somebody who probably don't even own a business?
Oh man, it's deep because see, as somebody that graduated from FAMU, and I love FAMU, and I love my college experience, bro. If I had knew what I knew at 17, I might have considered other options. I was taught to graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, get a job, get married, get in line, whoop de whoop, the American dream. But bro, when I graduated and got my degree and I gave it to my mama, because that's who I was doing it for.
Yeah.
I mean, it was for me, yeah. But by the time I gave it to her, I overstood the game. I overstood that this thing called college is preparing you to work for someone else. And unless you're specified in a field where you are trying to be an engineer, an architect, a doctor, a pharmacist, a lawyer, I tell you what, I will say this. My conversation with my kids about college is going to be a little bit different. And I would also ask the parents to have realistic conversations, because if you teach an entrepreneur to your kid at a young age, by the time he graduates, he or she should have that nest egg to where college should be an option. You know what I'm saying? You want to go for the experience, but hey, if I had known that I could have, or if it had been forced on me, Brandon, go get a trade, get your barbering license, and then start you a barber, have your own shop by 25. If that had been forced into me versus going to college, man, it ain't no telling where I would be. Or if they had told me, won't you get your degree or trade in plumbing or welding? You know what I'm saying? It's just different conversations. And I think parents force their kids to say that, let's go to college. But what are we going to college for? And what are we getting in debt for?
Yeah. Like you say, even HBCUs are feeder systems into making Black people workers. Have you ever studied up on Dr. Claude Anderson?
Yes, sir.
All right. So black labor, white wealth basically lays out what I just said. Black people have always been the labor class of white America. Right. So reading Powernomics, and for those, if you haven't, read Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics, because we're talking about economic plans for Black America to build Black America's economics specifically for us. Not no Black and brown stuff, not no people of color stuff, not no minority stuff, just Black people. Right?
Fundamental Black Americans.
Right. So reading the books like Powernomics, also reading books like $40 Million Slaves. Like Marlon Napier mentioned last week, reading the book Go Beyond by Kezia Conyers. And that's a good book for you, Brandon, for you to check out for your teams.
Okay.
She former collegiate athlete. I remember Kezia Conyers came through Records.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wrote a book about her experience, and she got other athletes to write about their experience going through college and life after sports, and how they can become successful after sports. So so books like that help get the mindset to be able to understand that sports is not the end.
Right.
And if you get your fundamentals together, your financial fundamentals together, and all those things, you'll be able to maximize off the sports, especially with the state of Florida moving in 2021 to be one for especially collegiate athletes being able to monetize off their likeness, name, and their the name and the image and all that stuff there. So
right, and that's why we had to teach these athletes some level of financial literacy, or at least start dropping the seeds, or the parents got to start letting them know, because this thing is a business now. And these kids walking in knowing that they are 5-star, 4-star, you need to walk in knowing your worth and understand that, hey, you are just a tool for them to gain recognition and money. So while you there, get the education, get the money, get the knowledge, like get the scholarship money. And if they present you with an opportunity to make money off your name, off your hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears, learn how that go and get the money. And when you get it, don't spend it on frivolous things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we mess up because we acting like we ain't never had that. And so when we get some, we trying to act like we trying to get it instead of sitting down and being disciplined and sitting on your pockets for a minute.
Yeah.
With a real game plan.
Hey man, look, Toyota Prius looking real nice to me right now. Lady told me she put $17. She could ride that thing for a month. I'm like, for a month, $17?
And man, not care what nobody think. Not care what nobody think. And see what changed with me with that, because I ain't gonna lie, I was caught up in the materialistic world. You know what I'm saying? I think we all were to a certain level, not everybody, but for the most part. But when I realized that billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and all these different billionaires, they were dressed in regular clothes, I was like, man, why am I out here looking like I got something when the people that got the real money not really caring about a perception? They more focused on the vision. So between that and then somebody like Diddy, who was a walking brand, I told myself, you know what? I'm not gonna wear everybody's label no more. If it's not mine, or if it's not another black-owned business, I made a conscious decision that I wouldn't wear it. Now I do put on my polo every now and then. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I say like this. Look, it's all good because we understand black people. We don't own the necessary industries to really manufacture our things. Now there are black businesses out there, so just make sure most of your stuff is black, or as much as possible as black. Do what you can to support black businesses. But we already know here, when you pay your light bill, that ain't no black business,
right?
When a lot of times if you're paying your mortgage, that ain't no black business. If you're paying your car note, there ain't no black business. Paying your car insurance, there ain't no black business. Like we don't own a lot of these industries, but just shop black, as much black as you can. So, I know you say 850 Kings is one of the few middle school age 7-on-7 teams in the Tallahassee area. So I want to expand this question outside of Tallahassee. What separates 850 Kings as far as a youth football team, as far as what you guys put into it? What would you say separates 850 Kings from other youth 7-on-7 teams?
Well, let's just say the brand itself, the brand 850 Kings is something that we feel like the city can get behind. I think it's something that the kids, especially, our young male, black male, there's something that they can get behind and can believe in. Carry yourself as a king, carry yourself as an upstanding citizen. And with that, we try to teach these principles and give them these principles while, teaching the game of football and while competing. A lot of things that I feel make us different is just how we carry ourselves, like what we ask for these kids. Like we ask for a winning mindset. we believe in changing mindsets. It's been proven that we have what it takes to, you know, have a kid that may not fully believe and turn them into a full believer and having it to the point where the outside world can see the results. And I think something that makes us different is that we do want to teach life principles and financial literacy while we're also mentoring and coaching.
Right.
Of course, a lot of these 7-on-7 teams do college tours, and I believe for our third year coming up, that's what we're progressing to. But even more than that, what are the principles that you need to be an upstanding citizen? Do you understand building legacy? Do you understand that with this logo on your chest, that you will always looked upon and looked at and going to be carried, you know, in a certain type of light? And also, when it's all said and done, what are you going to do to give back? So those are the things that we teach our kids, and I think that's what makes, you know, a little different than other 7-on-7 teams, you know, especially, you know, within the city and abroad.
Now that's what's up. I mean, football, any sport platform that adults are part of, it needs to be a part. It needs to, what the main ingredient need to be making productive citizens out of the kids that you come across. Especially a lot of the kids who come from troubled backgrounds or difficult backgrounds, who face more challenges. No kid should be ignored, but some kids need a little more attention. Mm-hmm. Some kids need a little more push and a little more resources and things like that. So definitely appreciate that, because you don't have to do what you're doing with 850 Kings. So now there are a lot of people who want to be in the position that you're in as far as 850 Kings are building themselves to be there. So what advice would you give to some up and coming youth football coaches as to help them to be able to build a successful, sustainable football program that actually really enriches the children that are a part of it?
Well, from a fundamental basis, first you got to find some fellow coaches that truly believe in service and mentoring. I think Coach Tremaine did a great job,
right,
with assembling a staff of people who really care about the kids, you know, first and foremost. Right. Who's not doing it for like any fame or anything like that, but really solely for the kids. And I think that type of quality rubbed off on me, and I believe for any other coach that's looking to get into it, that should be the first and foremost thing. You also have to have a level of patience with these kids. Uh-huh. You also have to be willing to deal with some kids that may be coming from some backgrounds that might not be conducive to what you want to teach, and and their learning curves may be different.
Right.
And you on a technical side, you want to define what it is that you want to do. Is it going to be a for-profit organization or a non-for-profit? Coach Tremaine and I, we decided that we want to make this full non-for-profit organization. So we went through the proper steps, like through the Department of Revenue, to go ahead and get our 501. What is it? 501 C3. Excuse me. So just taking those steps like that, and finding the logo, building the brand, finding some teams, get these kids out the community that ain't doing nothing, put them together and show them how it is to be organized, show them how it is to be selfless, how to work together, how to fight through the pain and adversities, and show these kids what it takes to be winners. And even though you may not win every game, it's small wins. It's mid-game milestones. These mid-game milestones turn into big wins. You know what I'm saying? Turn into you're achieving goals. So I think that's the most important thing that a coach should consider when starting a youth football group.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Because I never thought about a youth football team as a nonprofit organization until I read up on A50 Kings. I wasn't thinking about it like that, but that does make sense to have something sustainable that you can move forward and be able to have resources. You need resources. You don't have to have. You're gonna be traveling. You're gonna need equipment and all these other things. Here, so somebody got to pay for it.
And it gets expensive, but a lot of the times, a lot of that comes out of for the most part, a collaboration of the coaches coming out of their pockets and a lot of the cooperative and patient parents that see the vision and want to invest in their kids and,
Right.
and know that the money that they're investing is going to be spent wisely and what it's supposed to be spent on.
Right.
So
That's what's up, man. So parents. We gotta talk about parents. We gotta give some advice to these parents because we all know parents can be special.
right.
So, what advice would you give to parents to help them help their children be as successful as possible without the parent being all in the way?
Well, first and foremost, a lot of the behaviors starts with the parents. So just teaching the kids the right mindset of, cooperation and working, with the team and amongst the team. Those are some things that the parents can do before they even bring their kid out there.
Right.
When they get out there, just build a rapport with the coaches. Know who's coaching your child. It's okay to find a background, ask them whatever you need. Stay, watch the practices. But understand that if this is the decision that you made with allowing your child to be coached on a particular team, you have to allow that coach to coach, and you have to trust the process. And you have to, if you see problems that you may not like, if you frustrated, we would prefer that you pull us to the side than to come on the field. You know what I'm saying? Or come in the middle of practice and express your, the statements. Something else is just be willing to participate, be in your child's life. I know it's tough because a lot of parents are working. I know there's a lot of things going on in the household, where kids may not have transportation, but doing what you can, you know what I'm saying? It's the small things, when we have games or something, share your son's information about the game, keeping us abreast of what's going on outside of 7-on-7, letting us know how your kid is performing in school, at the house, and if there's anything that we can do, to help your job, be a lot easier. Is there anything that we can say? Is it,
Right.
just being involved, and trusting the process with the coaches that have your kids, most importantly.
Building that family, like that.
Yeah.
Family.
About building a rapport, building family.
So how do you handle parents who, all right, because there's always a kid who he tries hard, but he's not gonna start. He's not gonna start. The playing time not gonna be there because it's just not gonna be there for that kid. That kid has a little more development to go. And not to say the kid won't ever touch the field, but the kid really not gonna touch the field that often. How do you handle parents who they're in this belief that they believe that their child deserves more playing time, but from the results that you've seen, you see you got a lot more work to do with the child. So how do you handle being able to keep that parent level-headed, keep that child encouraged, and keep everything going?
We try to keep it as simple as possible. We try to just have a real conversation with them. We try to give them an honest assessment of their child, because what we value um, transparency, and we do evaluations on all of the kids so they can understand where their child is on a particular scale based on speed and tenacity, agility, all of those things, so they can see where their child is. Also, we just let them know that, hey, you get what you earn. Like wherever you if you earn it on the field, you're going to play. Now, a lot of times we want to get the. I want to see the child play, but I understand that we are in a business of competition and in the business of winning. So the duality between that is, we teach the kids, and we ask the parents to tell the kids to keep working hard. If you keep working hard, you're gonna get what you deserve. You're gonna get what you earn. And I think the coaches that we are, of course, you have your studs out there that needs to be on the field, but it's also room for the kids that are not on that level to get out there, because the best way that you can learn is through experience.
Right.
So
that's real.
To get to that level, you have to work hard.
Right. But I like that y'all be honest with the parents and the child. I like that. Instead of just them believing that my child's supposed to be playing because I want my child to play. They give my honest assessment. Well, this is where your child is. And because we all know it's all about scheme. It's all about putting people in the best positions to win by putting the best players on the field, best matchups and all those things when it comes to sports. Because if you, anything like, let's say, I remember, I think it was the Buffalo Bills or whatever. They had a free safety who was talking junk about Tom Brady, how he gonna get a couple picks off of Tom Brady. And they did their homework on Buddy. And at the end of the game, that Buddy gave up like 4 touchdowns. So like people who know what they're doing out here on this field, they're gonna exploit weaknesses.
Right.
So that's the thing that parents have to understand. Like, it's because it's harder to bring your child back from somebody dumping 4 touchdowns on them. That's harder to come back from that.
Yeah, it is.
So it's a process. All right, man. We had a good conversation, man. I ain't trying to keep you on here all day. I know.
No. I'm enjoying it, bro. Like just the conversation, between us dealing with sports, finances, these kids. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have no other place where I would want to be at this present time.
Man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
How can people learn more about 850 Kings? Y'all got a website, Facebook page, email. How people get in contact with you?
Well, the website is currently still under construction, but right now we do have a Facebook page. You can find us under Tallahassee Kings on Facebook, but on Instagram we are under at 850 Kings.
Okay.
Also, we can be reached at 850kings@gmail.com. Or you can reach me at my Instagram page if you have any questions about your kids pertaining to tribes.
That's King with a Z?
With an S.
Kings, 850kings@gmail.com.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Let me display that on the screen. Hold on, let me type it right first, but let me display it on the screen so people can see it.
Okay.
850kings@gmail.com. Bam. So folks can see it. So all my patrons and all the folk on YouTube who gonna get a chance to see this, you see right here, 850kings@gmail.com.
Right.
Make sure y'all hit the man up if you're in Tallahassee. You got a young one, a young whippersnapper on the way up, want to play football. Because look, they have these children have a lot more opportunities than we did. We was coming up. The year I graduated middle school was the year they started middle school tackle football. So we used to have something called Pro Day, where you would practice for like 3 weeks to go play 4 or 5 football games in one day. They weren't even serious when we was coming up. That Pro Day, man. So
Yeah, man, and I just want to say this before we leave, and I said this on a story, on my Instagram story. What you're gonna start seeing is you're gonna start seeing a transition, and you're gonna start seeing some of the best athletes in the United States, and they're gonna come from right here in this 850 area. You got athletes like Terrion Arnold. You know what I'm saying? He's ranked like the number 2 safety in the nation. He's right here out of Tallahassee. You got Amari Harvey. You got that awesome player, Rudd out of Gabi. You got wide receivers. It's so much untapped talent here, and the future is bright for the city.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good time, if parents can get their kids involved in something like 707, if that's the direction they want to go into. I think, this is a good time because technology is allowing your child to be seen on all aspects.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So people, man, take advantage of it. Take advantage of the resources and technology that's out there. Don't short yourself. And parents, remember, it's not your kid's job to save the damn family. All right? All y'all goddamn adults, it's y'all job to make sure the family's straight. It's your job to enhance the mental capacity, the knowledge in the kid's brain. Yes, they can play sports, but their mind, the knowledge they have will last longer and it'll take them farther than any sport can. Because you can make 100. Patrick Mahomes made 503. I was listening to the radio and it was so funny. Patrick Mahomes, they gave him the $503 million contract. I think he put $300 million in on the Kansas City Royals, right? Guess who owned the Kansas City Royals? The same people who gave him the contract. See the come up. See the game that they play versus the game that we play. He gave them. Think of right. If you only see the audio, if you could see his face, because think about it. We're the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs and we're the owner of the Kansas City Royals. We give you $503 million contract. And you turn around and give us $300 million back to buy a stake in the team, and the other team that we own. We got our money back.
Thank you kindly. Thank you. Come again.
Plus the extra money you're gonna make us this year. So we appreciate that, man. Ownership is a whole nother.
But they get mad at the ball. They get mad at the Ball brothers, and you know what I'm saying, like,
right.
Dog, if you got a name, if these people want you got to find a way to monetize and brand yourself, because they are going to do it for you, and you're not going to get your true return on investment. But guess what? If you tear your knee up, if you ain't worked it to them like that, you out of here.
Yep.
And so what does that mean when you out of here and you don't have nothing to show for it?
Right.
So you gotta get that knowledge, man.
Straight up, man. Man, we definitely got to catch back up and do this definitely again, man. So
I'm waiting for you to go ahead and decide what platform we can at least talk about some stuff, once a week, whether it's financial, whether it's the culture. Like, I love what you got going on, sir.
We can, let's talk about that behind the scene, because I was thinking about doing something for like Instagram.
Okay.
Well, we could possibly like go live maybe once a week, once or twice a month or whatever. Just have a scheduled day where we can go live and kind of chop it up, man. So let's put our heads together. Let's talk behind the scenes on be able to do that. We go live on a regular. Instagram might be that spot.
I think so. I think between your follower and our follower, we can put some things together.
Man, let's do it, man. So, man, you make sure you have a good Sunday, bro.
Yes, sir. And can I give a disclaimer or just one thing? If there's any parents out there that have kids that need any training done, any footwork training, any wide receiver training, any DB training, 850 Kings also facilitates training sessions for athletes that want to hone in and sharpen their skills. So I just want to make sure that is known as well.
Yeah. Hit that email, 850kings@gmail.com. It's really going down. So with that being said, I appreciate you, bro. And we'll see y'all next episode, man. Peace out.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Sir.